Welcome everybody to a Get the Word Out, literally the fastest planned Get the Word Out in Project Next history. Sally Busby, thank you for doing this with me.
Of
This
course.
is on why should moms run for stuff. It could also be why should you run for stuff. You don't have to be a mom, but we're going to focus it on your reason, Sally, which is a powerful, beautiful one. And I can't wait for you to share it with our Project Next viewers today. Sally, thanks for joining me like so fast. We figured out we could do it because we're on different time zones.
Right.
That was funny. We could do a whole episode on how this episode was made because it's hilarious.
Yeah, for
Okay,
sure.
Sally, how are you? Thank you for being here today.
Great, great. I am so thankful that you were able to reach out and that we could talk this morning. This
You
is
didn't e-
fantastic.
you didn't even have time to be nervous.
I know, I know. I was like, "Well, what time is it? Let's do this thing."
Yeah, so
Yeah.
thanks for doing this. So, first of all, Sally is running for Indiana State House 78. I'm running for Indiana State House 70, both as Democrats,
Mhm.
in a place that's hard to run as a Democrat. And we're more about helping all people, not just
Mhm.
one side. So we have to pick a side if we want a chance to win. Um, so just acknowledge that if you are listening and you are a candidate and you are running for something as a Republican and you share Project Next values about um, stopping the fear, hate, and division, destroying the country, then please get a hold of me on all my social media stuff because I'd love to have some Republicans on. It doesn't really matter whether you're R or a D. I know it's hard to see that if you are a decent person and care about the community, you care about all people, and that's our mission here. So, Sally, tell us just a little bit about you and then your decision to run for state house, which is a pretty big decision, girl.
Oh, yeah, I mean, in this time, I've told so many people this was never on my bingo card for life, to run
Same.
for office. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, you and we're both former middle school teachers, right?
Hmm.
And I loved teaching middle school. Love, love, love it. But in my life story, I had to stop teaching middle school English to support my child with severe special needs. And so my child now with severe special needs is 21 years old. And he has the functionality of like a toddler, but in a very big boy body. He is 6'4", 240 pounds, and has
Wow.
a pretty low frustration level, and he takes a lot of that out on his mama. So we
So
had
it's having an adult
yes,
size toddler with toddler tantrums, with toddler
exactly.
snuggles, with all the
Mhm.
things. Yeah,
That yeah,
yeah, wow.
that is a lot, and, I think we had almost every window in our house broken at one time or another,
Wow.
holes in our walls, all the things, and so to protect my daughter from my son, it's a
How
very
old is your daughter?
my daughter is 18, and she's a senior in high school this year,
Oh,
and she wants yeah,
congratulations.
thanks. She wants to be an engineer like her father, and, she's just on that path of women in STEM, and I think
Love
that's
it.
so important. Yeah.
Side
So
note, my favorite author is Allie Hazelwood, and she
oh,
writes like really smart, beautiful romances, and a lot of the women are in STEM.
I love that. I mean,
And
Ingrid
I learn about science while I'm reading my beautiful book that makes me happy at night.
yeah. Um, do so, like, with my family, it we it was kind of it was tough because, like,
Can't even imagine.
I had this, son and daughter, I loved them both so much, but, it was very difficult for me to find a job, and work in the community and help as much as I wanted to because I was also caring for my son. Um,
So you had to
yeah,
quit working because there
mhm,
wasn't like an adequate place for him to go that would be safe for him and safe for the other children? Is
that's
that
correct.
the
Mhm,
problem?
yes.
Were you able to get any government assistance to help you?
So, that is one of the reasons why I love this community and I love this state so much. It is when, I we are a transplant to Indiana, and,
Oh, where are you
in
from?
I'm from Memphis, Tennessee
Oh,
originally,
nice.
and
I love
so
Memphis. I
I
just went there for fall break.
I love that, and so that's where "Hey y'all" comes from. I am a Southerner.
The
Um
people in Memphis are so friendly.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
they're friendly on a different way. Southern Indiana people are friendly. They take
Yep.
it up a notch, and I love it. And I also love the fashion there. They're a little bit more fashion, um, like, wild, I guess. I don't know how to say it. They're not as afraid to be different than
There you
as we
go.
are here. Yeah.
Eh, and, but when we moved up here, I was surprised because Tennessee for a long time had frozen their waivers, and, just because they could not, as a state, afford to support
So
families.
waivers being like,
Mhm.
government assistance to help families like yourself when you can't work because you have to care for your child.
That's
You're saying
exactly
you
right.
didn't, so when you moved from Tennessee to Indiana, you actually were able to receive more government assistance, more waivers to help you so that you could raise your child.
Yes, and
Okay, I didn't know that. That's
that
interesting.
that process is not easy. And it's not spelled out, and, there's no, like, on the website, there's no front page of, "Here this is the workflow that you would follow to get those services." It is, it seems like it is behind walls and it's difficult, and, my researcher mom part, that's the way I was able to, like, continue to push to get services for my son, and that's how it always has been. So just because Indiana has those services there, it's not that they're really evident, or, like, super they don't explain every single part of that the way they should. It's
So you were able to get assistance, but it was very
Mhm.
hard. A lot of paperwork, a lot of like rules and figuring out the system. And you're saying since
Yes,
you are a teacher, a researcher, you were able to figure it out. And also you
yes,
probably have the patience of you probably have better patience than most humans on the planet because of raising your son with his special needs. So you
and
probably were able to use that to help you fill out the forms.
sure, and, like, right now, the list is about 24 months long, so you have to wait to receive services for years, and that
Is
was the
that how
case.
it was for you when you originally tried? Did
Yes,
it take years to get
yes.
it?
Yes.
That's interesting.
So,
Okay.
it was not immediate. We applied for and we were on the list, and so every once in a while, I would reach out to, our the person at, Family Services and ask, "Where are we on the list?" And, "Well, we're still on the list." And so it took a long time to receive those services. And once we were pushed into the list, then those services didn't magically appear because, there's such a backlog of folks who need services, and they do not have, the the people in place to provide those services. The funding for that, they're not paying, folks an hourly wage to support special individuals with special needs that is a fair hourly wage, so they have trouble hiring people and keeping people in these,
Yeah.
places. And then also, a lot of people are not interested in working with folks like my son who are aggressive and, hard to deal with.
Yeah.
So, we were even though we were off the list and we had, money possibly attached to our name to support our son, we couldn't use it because there wasn't anyone who wanted to work with our son. Until we found, Todd from Empowerment Behavior Services, who was an absolute lifeline for our family, and
And what is that? Is that like a nonprofit? Is that a what type of
he's
service is that?
so he provides, behavior services to help, um it really help parents parent their kiddos and help kids be as successful as possible in the larger community. And for us, that was not what he realized that our family was drowning. We were really, uh, this is kind of like a thing where once you've been dealing with something like this for so long, um, it's not a casserole issue. It's not like bring someone a casserole and they'll get through it. This just goes on forever and ever. And lot of people couldn't provide that support. So this through a process of 5 years,
Wow.
we were finally able to find, um, a provider who was willing to take a chance on our son and give him a spot in their group home.
Oh, wow. And so that
Uh,
recently happened, correct?
that happened in April 2025. Um, and that was
So
I'm
now your son is at a home where
in
people can meet his needs
yes,
in a wonderful place
in Evansville.
in Evansville. And where do you live?
We live in Evansville as well, and so we are able to see him often. We take him to McDonald's, which he calls banana because I think the M's look like, bananas, and, he is happy there. He has, friends and community there, and he is not spoiled by his mama there, so he is doing more than he has ever done before,
I
which is
totally get that on
yeah,
the you wanna love and take care of your child and provide for him and give him what he needs, but he also needs to be learned, and so it's hard for
right.
parents. I totally get that with my own children. Yeah,
Right,
yeah, yeah.
right. And so, like, but this also opened up a world for me, and it was able this came at the perfect time for us to really focus in on, our daughter who, like
Oh, she probably hasn't got near
yeah,
enough attention since she was
yeah,
born.
yeah. So, this was really important for us, um, and I knew how important it was for other families as well.
I
So
know
that
some of
was
the Mad Voters, some of the
yeah.
main people that run Mad Voters stories are very similar to yours. And
Mhm.
they have children that have special needs and it's very hard for them to get what their children need. And they're doing everything they can. And so, you know, I am so proud of them and admire them and also understand their struggle to an extent. I'm a teacher. I taught 5th grade.
Mhm.
I've taught kids that um had pretty severe special needs and
Mhm.
I had to really adapt different things to their setting. I just want everybody to kind of look at you for a minute, Sally, because you can't brag about yourself, especially as women in our culture. We cannot just go and brag about ourselves. So I want to brag about you a little bit. So we can recognize this as a mom. You've been given a child that you love unconditionally that is not going to be a average typical child. And your life had to change and it did. You stepped up and did everything for your kid and it's been extremely hard. I just want to acknowledge the skills that you have because you are surviving this and the paperwork, the research, the understanding the laws, the seeing where you could make it better for other parents with kids with disabilities. This gives you something that the average human doesn't have. And if I could vote for you in State House 78, I would. If I could win my election and you win your election, and I could learn from you
Mhm.
to pass legislation at the state level to make it easier for parents to get assistance when they cannot work, they cannot leave their child, or to help them find a place like he's in now that is better for them, meets the needs of the child, and lets you live a life. you know, it's such a beautiful, heartbreaking, and incredible story you have, Sally.
Yeah. Um, it's uh we appealed, to at one point we had been told no so many times by group homes that
Ugh,
there's another uh, system that we had applied to that would provide, more of an institutionalized setting, but that cost the state more. and they explain
And he
and they
doesn't really need that too. It sounds like
no,
not as nice as
no.
where he's at now.
Right. Well, but, they denied that placement. And we had a lot of data to support that it was very much negatively affecting, our daughter and
Mm.
other people, and, a and that is something that the state's like, "Well, you know, too bad." But that's not something we can, like, consider when we are
Yeah.
looking at that. So,
And you're
it
not alone. There's
yeah,
so many other parents with children because of a good thing, because we have better medical things, we've invented things, we have smaller tools. When our children are born with problems, we're able to save them more than we used to. So we have more children with certain types of different needs that need to be met. So
sure.
we kind of need to evolve and change. I know Scott Aaron Rogers, his son passed away at 19. Um not quite 2 years ago, and his son had low bone, like muscle density and bone density and stuff, and so
Mhm,
he was in a wheelchair. He
mhm,
couldn't chew, so he
mhm.
had a feeding tube, and Scott would literally like feed him and pick him up and take him to the restroom, and he was really smart. His son was very smart and could go to college and was going to college, and then he got sick and he passed away. And I'm thinking of all the work Scott did. Like, Scott would go to work and then go to his son's college on his, lunch break to take him to the restroom.
Yeah,
And the silent things
yes,
that these parents are doing,
yeah,
not complaining, not saying, "Feel bad for me, take care of me, give me tons of money," just meet the basic needs, just help us to survive and to thrive. Like, I think we don't wanna see it as a society because it hurts. Don't you think? When people look at you and your son and they don't understand that your son is very tall and big and yet he can't speak like a normal
right,
person his age, do they look away? And then there's probably some that look away and there's probably some that are loving because
right.
we don't wanna see it. We wanna pretend like it's not there.
Right, and I think there's so much that's there that, maybe I'm not seeing other things. There are things that I've learned as I'm knocking on doors just in the last 5 months that are
Yeah.
also pain points in our community, and um, that we're all I think, like, there's a lot of folks who would be concerned if they knew, you know,
But
um
they don't know. We
exactly.
as a culture like to pretend it doesn't exist.
Yeah, yeah.
So mhm.
So and we can do a better job, is
Then maybe we
supporting
should elect people like you that understand the system. Like,
yeah,
that's great. And you don't need to be just a Democrat to vote for you, Sally. In your area, if you care about people, children,
mhm,
that we could take the money we have, the tax money, we don't need to add to it. We
right,
just take the tax money we have and spend it on better things. Something that
exactly.
makes me mad is people that are very wealthy that can easily spend money for their children's private charter school. They're
Mhm,
taking our government money and they're ripping it from our children's public schools so
yeah,
that these wealthy people could pay so they don't have to pay for their kids to go to school that they could pay for. So that would
exactly.
be one easy way we could stop doing that
Mhm.
and we could help the people that need it the most.
Absolutely. Um, that was something that I went over in my TikTok live last night about the vouchers and how we have taken that cap off of the vouchers now, so that it was only like 3.5% of Indiana families were not already able to get, voucher funds for their family if they were already sending their child to private school,
We
uh,
have the
with
data. We
that.
know that it's
Yeah.
most of them that were already going to send them anyway using it.
Right, and so now, like, the fact that any millionaire can also receive those funds that are being stripped from public schools
And
is
also, right now, our government is shut down. SNAP is barely functioning. I got Tim Peck explained it on our show last night, so I understand it. Just a fraction of SNAP benefits will be available, so not the full thing. So people are starving in Indiana. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear gave out $5 million, I believe. He's like giving out emergency funds to try to make up for this difference. Our government, our governor, nothing. So
No,
we are having people starving,
right.
and at the same hand, we're paying for rich people's education. No diss on rich people. I'd love to be rich, but also I don't think our tax dollars should pay for their religious charter schools.
No, absolutely not. And I mean, there's so many things that our tax dollars shouldn't be paying for right now, and a special session to redraw lines that have already been drawn,
Yeah, that's going to
you
cost
know?
like $35,000 a
30,000.
day
Yes.
when we could be using it to help those people, those Hoosiers
Mhm.
that are starving.
Right.
We
And
need to really look, is our government working for the people or is it working for the top people? And we should elect people like us, everyday regular people that have empathy, that understand, and that are intelligent
yes.
enough to vote in better policies.
Right. And that's something that as I'm knocking on doors, every weekend, a lot of people will say, "Well, I'm a Republican." And and I'll say, "Well, that's okay. I mean, you can still vote for me." And I'll
Yeah,
say,
you don't
That's
it's not a
all right.
religion,
All
it's
right.
not a sports
Yeah,
team,
yeah,
it's
and
pick the better person.
yeah, and I'll say, like and I'll explain about vouchers, and so often they'll say, "Well, I don't agree with that. That's not right." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's not right, and we can do a better job." So I think a lot of people are in agreement that we can support Hoosiers in a way that is more equitable, that is a better return on investment for our tax dollars, and that we can have people that are thriving and seeing themselves as part of our society. Like right here in our place in Evansville and Newburgh in Southwest Indiana, we can have so many pathways of opportunity for our kiddos.
So you're actually going out and door knocking and talking
Yeah.
to a bunch of people in your district, which is
Yes.
awesome. Way to
Yeah.
go. Are you finding what I found when I did this and do this, that most Hoosiers don't really know what our state elected leaders and our governor is doing to the state? Are you finding that?
Yeah, I am. Because a lot of times, the media that is pushed out for on people's phones or, however they're getting their news is mainly federal issues, and it can, kind of skew to cultural issues and
Yeah, the stupid
that
culture
sort of
wars that separate
yeah,
us and divide us, and let's talk about this celebrity or let's
right.
talk about this thing Trump did, and it just makes everybody mad and
Yeah,
divided and angry.
yes, and
But then they
instead
don't actually know that their kids' public school is being defunded
yes,
so severely by
right.
our state government.
By that
They don't.
Senate Bill 1, and, like, how much money is gonna be taken away from the things the infrastructure and from our schools and from our
Yes, Senate
libraries.
SB 1, Senate Bill 1 that was passed in Indiana, you all, in this last 2025 legislative session will do so much damage and already has and will continue to do so much damage to all Hoosiers. They will try really hard, the people that passed it, to keep it hidden, but it's so much damage they're not gonna be allowed to, and they cannot
Mhm.
pretend the other side did it because the other side doesn't have power. So, like in my county, in Harrison County, we've got Gary Byrne as a state senator.
Okay,
And he voted for SB 1. He seems to really not like public education. His wife, Angie Byrne, is on the school board of my children's school at North Harrison. And at the last meeting, some of the parents were like, "Well, your husband is voting to defund our schools." And she just
right.
kind of like sat there blankly. And it's like, we're starting to figure it out, but also it's our job to keep telling people. Because
Yes,
I don't think everybody that sends their kids to North Harrison is aware that
right.
one of the people on the school board's husband is voting to defund public education and will continue to. They will try to
Mhm.
pass something worse this next session. So it's tough out there.
Yeah,
We
but
we need moms like like you to run for something. So when you decided to run, we only have like
Mhm.
5 more minutes here. When you decided to run, how did you go about it? Because if there are other people listening being like, "Oh, if we got into power and we elected better people, we could actually change legislation to make our lives better." Can you tell us how you did this? How'd you go about it?
Well, I think I didn't g I knew I could do more. Once Jack was in a group home and I was feeling I'm sure like a lot of folks, I was feeling like, "What can I do? I feel helpless. I feel hopeless. What can I do?" So I reached out to the Vandenberg Democratic Party, and, that's my county's, and I just said, "How can I help?" That was the question. It was a call for action and like, "What can I do
That's
that would
similar to
really
mine. I
help?"
got involved. I
Yeah,
just Facebook messaged Harrison County Dems Facebook. I didn't even realize we had county parties.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
like new to me.
And about a week later, they reached back out and they said, "Hey, you can run." Um, and that was something that I hadn't considered, but I am, a researcher and I am a kind of a nerdy girl, and so I was just like, "Okay, well, let me see what this is all about. Let me make sure that I can do this well." Because I didn't wanna do it poorly, like,
Yeah, me too. Like, I didn't know if I was smart enough, and then
yeah,
once I found how the person that's in power in District 70 votes and how she does things, I was like, "Oh, well, I could do a lot better than that."
and I think that that's important for, like, there are a lot of people the people who are thinking, "Oh, I could never do that." Y'all, you are the one.
And you can learn new
You are the
things.
one. Yeah.
Yes,
Like,
yes, you don't
come
have to know
on.
everything about local
Yes.
government. I didn't. I
Yeah,
found it out as I go. I'm still learning, but I know I can do better than the person that's I think women, we do that a lot. We're like, "Well, we don't know enough. We're
yeah,
not expert enough." But when you look at studies, but men are like, "Well, I'll figure it out." And they have that more confidence. So I
right.
play Tim Peck a lot. You know, my one of
Mhm,
my good friends that's the
mhm.
co-founder. I
Yep.
play that role of confidence and no because I didn't have that modeled to me as a woman.
Yeah.
So, don't so we need that. But also, like, yeah, so you're a researcher, you're an educator, you're very smart, you understand the system, you're living it with your amazing 21-year-old. So, you contacted your Democratic Party, they told you to run for something. Are they helping you? Did they help you get started?
Well, I mean, as much as they could, but I think that, a lot of it is it's on yes, they did. But, it when once you've decided, like, "I wanna run," you've got to commit to it. It is a second full-time job. And to do it well and to, push back against the system right now, and I think mamas, we can do this.
Oh,
Like,
we can multitask.
mamas we already have a second full-time job all the time, and it's being a mama. So we know how to do that well. And we can get in there and just fight like a mama bear. Uh,
Yeah, and that's what that's why I said we need more moms in
mhm,
which it's a hard job to do. You're at a good position because if you were elected, you could handle going to Indy because you're not taking care of your 21-year-old every second like you were. And then your other daughter's 18. But like if I get elected, it's gonna be hard on my family. I'll do it to try to help. But that's hard too, because it's a 3 to 4 month job and
right.
you're going to Indy from Monday through I think Thursday, Monday through Friday. So yeah, we need moms, but also realize you'll be gone. You'll be in Indies. If you're close to Indy, that's great. You don't have to go and stay in a hotel. But also you can run for something else. It doesn't have to be state house, or you could meet the candidates that are running and help them. If you live near Sally, get in touch with her, follow her, Sally Busby on social media, follow her, message her. She'd love some help. You don't have to just do what you did or what I'm doing. You can start something smaller, but
Yeah.
doesn't it help your mental health? Isn't it helping you because
Yes,
you're frustrated about the way
yes,
things are going? So instead of just sitting back and complaining and feeling
absolutely.
hopeless, you're like doing something?
Yes,
Yeah.
just pointing out that the people who are volunteering and helping with this campaign, I mean, we meet weekly, we're meeting monthly in person to do different things, and I think it helps everybody, like, to just say, "Okay, we are doing something right now. This is a moment of a time where we're all called to do something more," and it could be run, but it could be support other folks who are doing that, and or just talking to people, listening to people, and trying to make those connections, where we can just do a better job connecting with the people in our community.
I'd like to dedicate this episode to your children. We wouldn't be talking right now if it
Yep,
wasn't for them. And I would like for you to come back on after you have like, could you write down, keep track of some stories of when you're out meeting
mhm,
people, any stories of people that also struggle, and that if you were elected, you could help make pass policies, change things to make it better. Um, I want to show how this is how we do it. We have to get better people elected. We can do it in Indiana. I know it feels hopeless, but it's not.
mhm,
More people are waking up to what is happening in our state. And let's just keep the dialogue going on what it's like actually on the ground instead of the stupid division that we see online that is mostly not real.
right.
Some people are believing it and then it becomes real in a weird meta type way, but for the most part, most people are lovely, beautiful humans doing their best. And I'd like to have a what is it like door knocking in your community? What are you finding out?
Yeah, absolutely. I can share that next time we chat.
And what is your social media stuff? So Sally Busby, what is it? Is it just your
Okay.
name? Is it anything else?
So, website is Sally for Indiana, and it's
FOR?
FOR,
Okay.
because I'm an English teacher, it's sallyforindiana.com, and then, on all social media, Sally for Indiana, on Instagram, on, Facebook, and I have and then on TikTok, it's just Sally Busby. Mhm.
That's where I see you mostly is TikTok,
Yeah.
but we're Facebook friends and stuff, so I see your other stuff. So yeah, I'll tag
Yeah.
y'all this stuff and you can share it. Thank you for doing this. I know you've got a busy day. You're doing what, League of Women Voters?
Mhm. Yep, there's a
Yes.
luncheon today talking about the redistricting and some of the changes in, election law that we've had, so I'm
Nothing stressful
yeah.
going on in Indiana. Nothing at all. We're not worried about anything going on, and also trying to feed our people that need it.
I know.
No stress
Yeah.
here, you guys. Yeah, thank you for having this conversation with me. You're a beautiful person. A love to your family. Thank you for telling me your reasons. I'm glad we spoke on the phone a few months ago.
Yes, yes,
And yeah, I'm
same.
here if you need anything, get in touch with me. But you're doing a great job. I'm really proud of you and I'm really thankful you're running.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Bye,
Really
everybody. Please share. Thank you, Sally. I know she's got to go. And thanks for doing this episode on the fly and really quickly
Yes,
with
of
me.
course.
Bye, everybody. Love you
Bye.
guys.